Yeah. Well, and then the next thing, unless you got something we want to talk about on this subject, would be why don't you showing us how you actually add content?
Sure. All right. So let's start here.
Can I suggest one thing real quick, Hal, before we go there?
Yeah.
Is all of the content that we give is also editable. So if you go back to the book.
Sure. Yeah.
And you want to add some additional notes, you can just push edit here.
Yep. Yeah, so let's say I want some additional stuff in the market square here. So there is another notice on the board, and I want to go add that artwork here. So I can either go choose existing artwork, or I can say, hey, this is a new artwork, and I'm going to upload an image directly from my hard disk. Right, and I'll just choose something random here, but like let's just choose any piece of art we want, right? And this becomes an image that just got added to the book.
Picked a big one.
Oh, yeah, I did. And this is one of Demille's beauties, right? And then hit save, and you'll now notice that what happened is not only is my text in the book, but that attachment got added. And if I want to share that with my players, hold on, let me get out of edit mode here. Stop editing, so cancel that. Stop editing, and when I'm in run mode, I click on that. That just became a handout. So that easy, I was able to add content to an existing book that I purchased, and it becomes my own sort of edited content usable across all of my campaigns.
Very nice.
Yeah. So that's easy. And then, hey, if I want to go create something new, you saw when I brought up the add content to this section list in edit mode, is that it wasn't just artwork I could choose from here. I've got all the other types of things I can choose from here, right? All the modeled content. So I could choose to add a background or a class or a feat or whatever to this book. And that's sort of one way to create them. You can create new ones on the fly directly in the book, or you can go out here to the reference section, and let's just go, what do you want? What do you fancy creating? Class is the most complicated thing, but race is probably the balance in between. It's got a number of features, and
why don't we do a monster? Is a monster
monsters
like
easy.
creating monsters?
Yeah, monsters easy. All right, so let's go create a monster. All right, so
that's
here we go.
People are going to do the most.
Yeah, so we've got a monster here, and there's monster list here, and we can go create a monster. And there's a couple different choices, right? So I could, literally create one from scratch. New monster. Yeah, what do you like?
Monstrous crawdad.
Monstrous. Oh yeah, I wish I could spell.
That's a problem with software engineering. You can't spell anything.
Anyway, there you go. Monster Oris. Okay, there you go. There we go. Well, close enough. All right, so I can either create it from scratch, and it's going to give me a blank box, or I can copy any existing monster. So I could choose another monster that I think is close. All right, so let's say the crab, giant crab might be close for this. So yeah, let's choose the giant crab and create from that.
I think it's more of a super crab. No, I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. Super crab. You could always obviously tell I'd created one before, and I could go create a new token for this. So let's search the web for a monstrous crawdad art here, right? And let's see, not coming up with much. So let's just
do a crawdad.
Let's just do crawdad and search, and there we go.
There we go. Come at me, bro. That's a good one.
Oh, this one. That one's a good one, right? I like that.
There you go.
Let's pick that thing. So let's pick that thing, and we can create a token for it, so I can zoom it down so I get more of the image if I want. That one's gonna, bleed over. So let's do this. All right, and then I can pick a new border for it if I want. So let's pick that border instead, and a red one, and then save. All right, so I've got my new token for my monstrous crawdad. I can go down here and edit any of the capabilities. So, if I want to give it another skill, I'll say monstrous crawdads have real insight into the world, right? So we want to give them +4 in insight, right?
Or rivers.
Yeah, there you go. And because of that, we should probably raise his wisdom up too. So let's change his wisdom up to 12 or something, right? And we want his challenge rating to be a little higher. So let's go ahead and say this monstrous crawdad is a challenge rating 2 creature. And so if we go look at edit any of the other things, you'll see CR2 creatures usually have an armor class of 13. I'm okay with leaving this one 15. That's a choice. Hit points wise, though, CR2s usually have between 86 and 100 hit points, right? So
yeah,
you're way low on hit points, right? So we want to have more hit points here. So I can go just change this and say it's, 10d8 plus whatever we want, another 20, let's call it, right? Because our armor class is a little high, I'll shoot a little low on hit points,
yeah,
and say save. There we go. And because we gave him a modifier to hit points, which probably boost his constitution, and so on. Coastal environment seems fine. Amphibious seems quite fine. We can go change the text here to say the crawdad rather than the crab, right? Because we copied from something else. Claw
air,
attack.
water, and steam.
Yeah, air, water, and steam. All right, so air, water, and steam. There we go. And there you go, right? And then if we want to give him a higher bonus because it's CR2 creature or whatever else, we want to give him a higher attack bonus. Let's just say we'll bump this to +4, and his claw attacks hurt more, so we'll go 2d6 plus 2 as the claw, and then we could add any other capability we wanted here. This is just text, but what you'll notice is because this is the way this is set up, right? The only thing I'm going to pay attention to here is to make sure that my die rolls are bolded. And what will happen is you just bold the text, and the built-in die roller in Shard will automatically pick that up. Anything in this format plus some number will automatically be a D20 plus that number, right? And then anything in that format, which is a number followed by a D followed by a die type, plus a bonus, is gonna roll that number of dice of that type and add the bonus to it automatically for you.
Cool.
And so on. So we can give it whatever level of capability we want, and then we hit save, and our monster is there, and we could go add it to an encounter right now if you'd like. So it's done. All right. So if we go back to our,
forgot to give it steam breath. That's fine.
Yeah, that's
jambalaya breath.
There you go. We can give it whatever we want in terms of capabilities, right? But go back to our map here and go add monster, and go grab our crawdad. Get the C and the R in the right order here. Where did it go? There we go. Monster crawdad. Just CR2 creature further down the list. Add the monster. There you go. By default, not visible. Make it visible.
Probably be bigger.
It probably should be bigger. So let's go change its size. So let's go up here and we'll
search for it.
Yeah, search for this sucker. Crawdad. Right. And edit it. And let's go change its size. So let's say its size should be huge. What do you think? We want it to be huge.
Sounds good.
Let's say save. All right, and then we will retouch it here. And bang, nice. It's got a huge token. Huge token. All right, so that's a monster. And literally, you can give it any additional capabilities you want on the fly. All right, so why don't we try creating a race? All right.
All right.
So new race. Do you want to do something from scratch? Do you want to copy another race, or do you want to create a sub race for an existing one? Those are all possibilities here.
Why don't we just do the 27th version of an elf?
27th version. So this is elf 27, right? So and its base race is, of course, an elf. And we want to create a new sub race of elf called elf 27. So you inherited all the characteristics of an elf, the base characteristics of an elf, and then you can go create new features. So what new features does elf 27 have? Elf 27 has primal awareness or something. Yeah,
there you go.
feral elf of some kind, right? So it has
It's a couch potato elf.
oh, couch potato elf. That's a completely different thing. So so what do we want?
It's COVID trained.
It has
COVID training.
binge watch.
So COVID training. It is due to your training, you are resistant to disease. All right, and so let's go edit the feature here and give it condition immunity or vulnerability or an immunity of any kind. So
Resistance.
Yeah, resistance. And we want to give it resistance to poison, probably.
Psychic.
These are damage types. Yeah, psychic damage. Yeah, there you go. So there you go. So
due to your consumption of cable news, you're immune to bad news.
Yeah, so we can set the description automatically here based on what our choices were. So you have resistance to poison and psychic damage. Save, and now those things will show up on your character sheet. And because it's a modeled feature that the resistance things automatically have a thing, we don't need this text to show up on the character sheet. So we can just say only display that in the descriptions, and away we go. So now if we create an elf 27, it'll have resistance to psychic and poison damage. And you can see here on the dialog, right? Let me just go ahead and create another feature. Feature 27. You can see there's a lot of other choices for things you can model, right? We can give you, something with a use count. We can something that varies by level. We can have a save DC. We can give you proficiency in armor or weapons or tools or skills or languages or ability saves. Give you a new movement speed. So Elf 27 might have a slower than normal walk speed or a higher than normal, some other speed. That kind of stuff. We can give you different senses and ability modifiers and so on, right? So that's all here. We can give you castable spells, right? So things that you can cast. So feats if you want. Yeah, so you can pick a feat here as your capability, right? So let's give you a spell always available, right? So this is a cantrip that you can cast. And it seems like, Elf 27 should have Eldritch Blast, right, as a cantrip, right? And so it just means you'll always have Eldritch Blast, and you're good, right? Now, there you go. Doesn't count against the number of spells you have per hour each day. There you go. All right, cool. So let's go create a character with Elf 27. So let's go create a new character. Yeah, that's a fine name for Elf 27. And pick the race to be Elf and Elf 27. And we'll just close that. We won't make the other choices yet, but you'll notice on my character sheet, I get Fey Ancestry, Trance, and Feature 27. You gain access to the following spells. And you'll notice that what happened here is the resistance here was to poison and psychic damage was listed directly on my character sheet.
Nice. Very cool. Yeah, that makes it super easy to create new races. That's pretty cool.